I've always wondered, what would happen if Universal brought Halloween Horror Nights back to Islands of Adventure? Would it be wild? Would it even work? Could it even top what they already do at Universal Studios Florida? Before we jump into all that, we need to understand why it was even held there in the first place. Because trust me, the story is way more interesting than you think. So let's rewind to the early 2000s.
Islands of Adventure. The most amazing theme park ever created. Now thrilling families at Universal Orlando.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Step inside the whimsical world of Dr. Seuss.
Catch a body by the toe. If he hollers, cut him low.
Jurassic Park. Ride with
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Come visit the all-new Islands of Adventure.
Islands of Adventure was still pretty new, and Universal was figuring out how to get more people through the gates. That's when they decided to try something different. Halloween Horror Nights first hit Islands of Adventure in 2002, where they set up scare zones in areas like Jurassic Park, Toon Lagoon, the Lost Continent, even in Marvel's Superhero Island. But why Islands of Adventure? Well, attendance here was super low at the time, and the studio's park was going through some major construction, so this became the home for Halloween Horror Nights that year. Then in 2003, Halloween Horror Nights was held at both Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure. It was definitely an ambitious move by Universal to split the crowds and its resources, but it also defeated the purpose of having Halloween Horror Nights at Islands of Adventure. After that, Halloween Horror Nights went exclusively back to Universal Studios Florida. But why? So the Islands of Adventure event didn't pull the numbers they hoped for, and the park layout just made the crowd flow really tricky. So some of the IP owners didn't appreciate their properties being used for horror stuff. Like, could you imagine walking into a Marvel-themed horror house and finding all of your favorite Marvel superheroes dead? Well, because that actually happened here. Once Marvel Studios found out what exactly was going on in the Maximum Carnage house, they put an immediate stop to it, so it got cut short a couple days into the event, leading to not much footage out there of it. So you can see why Halloween Horror Nights' time here was short-lived, and why they never brought the event back. But what if they brought it back today? This is what I needed to know. So I called the only person I thought that could help me figure this out. Back in 2002, Marvel was the first land that you would hit. They had one of the most infamous houses ever.
Amongst the rubble and rampage of Island Under Siege is one of the event's 5 mazes, Maximum Carnage.
You have to navigate through this kind of barbed wire experience with gamma radiation and toxic chemicals, target practice with laser beams, and all the while these evil henchmen and supervillains chasing you, wanting to capture you and make you part of their evil clan.
Maximum Carnage is an interesting attraction. There's a lot of actors popping out of nowhere. It's different from the other attractions, which is always good.
Maximum Carnage. It leads into one of the more violent, darker sides of the Marvel Universe.
As you probably know, Disney currently owns Marvel, so a house here in the Marvel Island might be a little bit difficult in today's day and age. But if the working relationship were to exist, I could totally see a Doctor Doom / Fantastic Four house, because at the time of recording, the new Fantastic Four movie has come out, have a big Galactus at the end.
I think if they were to bring Halloween Horror Nights back to Islands of Adventure, what would be really cool is if you've seen the Marvel What If show, there's an episode where like Doctor Strange is like a zombie or whatever trying to like get you with the Scarlet Witch. I think that'd be a really cool house to have back here. Then you hit Toon Lagoon, which sounds funny, but Halloween Horror Nights actually made it pretty creepy with twisted cartoon scare zones.
After the uncontrolled chaos of Maximum Carnage, visitors are probably ready for the reprieve that Toon Lagoon, with its cartoon characters and splashy rides, promises. Too bad.
We created a character called a Trig and Froon, which are characters that travel in pairs, and the characters are able to actually hide in the foam and pop out at you and interact with you. So we've littered basically the whole island with foam.
Toon Lagoon doesn't normally look like a giant bubble bath, so where did they get all the suds?
The foam machines are a great commercial product that we use that takes 55-gallon drum, which is basically a soap substance, and interjects air into it, and then actually creates a large, basically bubble bath type of foam. We usually transport it through a scaffolding tower and hang the foam machines about 10 feet in the air. And this gives us a great kind of waterfall effect of foam.
As hard as it was in the early 2000s to create good scare zones and houses based on a cartoon world, I couldn't imagine trying to do that today. But I did anyway, so if Halloween Horror Nights was still held here today and a scare zone were to happen in the Toon Lagoon, I truly believe that it would be Betty Boo walking around trying to get you to subscribe to her OnlyFans in this day and age.
On a more serious note, I do think they could pull off something that would fit within this comic lore. They could have an old newspaper, like, publication, maybe call it the Deadly Gazette, and have it be like these comics are coming to life, whether it be part of these old time comics or just like they send you through the printing press. That would be cool. And there's like a big like prop stage thing you gotta go through. It doesn't actually hurt anybody, but it's like blood squirting out the side. Ooh, that would be cool. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
So one thing they always have going on during Halloween Horror Nights is they always have a couple rides open. I believe here they would always have Ripsaw Falls open, but what would be really cool is when you come down this last drop, if a bunch of blood squirted all over you. Today where Camp Jurassic is, a house called Project Evolution. Deep within the jungle, top secret generic experiments have gone horribly wrong, creating hideous mutants, half human and half dinosaur.
Evolution, an outdoor haunted maze.
Evolution is a fun event. The Triceratops that you see asleep in the beginning and then basically gutted at the end was really a nice touch.
The Universal designers used an existing attraction called Triceratops Discovery Trail to create this haunted maze.
Our Triceratops animatronic in Discovery Trail isn't very threatening. It's not very scary. So what we did to remedy this is we built this stockade around here and we busted up all these big holes through here to make it look as though something violent and terrifying happened in here. Then to try and get heavy, quick movement inside, we have high-powered strobes placed around the stockade, and as they fire quickly, it makes it appear as though this animal is moving very quickly. Then, of course, we have a busted-up, bloodied-up Dr. Burton who comes right at you at this hole. Then later on, you'll see another animatronic of Dr. Burton after he's met his demise.
We took the theme that follows the movies, which is where the dinosaurs have gotten out of their existing cages and now roaming the island free.
And free they are. Packs of velociraptors stalk their unsuspecting prey, humans. Mutant half-men, half-dinosaurs are the hideous victims of a scientific experiment gone terribly wrong.
I feel like if they held Halloween Horror Nights here today, this would work out perfectly. Like, could you imagine a hybrid of a dinosaur and a human trying to kill you as you walk through this house?
The coolest part about this haunted house that was back here is that it was one of the only Halloween Horror Nights houses to ever be located outdoors. And if you could see, these pathways make it like a perfect setup for a haunted house. I just feel like this area is tailor-made for a haunted house. And if they were to ever have one this year, next year, I think it could work. It might be one of the only spots in the entire park that could practically work.
After walking through these caves, I could for sure see how we could be having a dinosaur Jurassic Park house back here. Like, this could be the cue. I mean, we've already got the fog. The fog's already here. We just need the house now.
My question is, are you going to talk about it? The house, the poop house?
Yeah.
You are?
We're going to talk about the poop house.
Okay.
Held here inside the Discovery Center was home to one of the most bizarre houses ever in Halloween Horror Nights history. Over in the Jurassic Park Discovery Center sat Psycho Scarapy, an insane asylum where the patients completely took over. Each room was like a twisted funhouse of chaos, broken beds, padded walls, and inmates who looked way too happy about chasing you down, till you hit the infamous bathroom scene. Universal actually pumped in the smell of poop, because nothing says Halloween like a guy throwing his own shit at you in a straitjacket. The craziest thing about this house is that even though it was an insane asylum and the patients of the insane asylum were protesting in a way of, well, throwing poop all over the walls, which led to the whole Discovery Center smelling like, well, shit. So the issue wasn't the house itself. The issue was, well, where the house was located. Inside the Discovery Center on the top floor is the dining area. So while guests were dining, they had a smell of something not so pleasant. And as you all know, heat does rise.
You know, I already sort of mentioned this, how Jurassic World is the modern day equivalent. And I feel like, you remember the original Jurassic World movie and they go back to the Discovery Center and it's like decrepit, it's falling apart. Why not change that into this? I don't know exactly what would be here, probably more dinosaur looking scare actors as they've had previously, but I feel like you'd have to stick to a Jurassic theme in order for anything to work here in the modern day.
Back in the early 2000s, the Wizarding World didn't exist yet. So if they were to have a Halloween Horror Nights event here today, I believe one of the few things that they would have is...
nothing. They would not be able to have anything because it's Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling won't allow that. Come on. No, it's not possible. It's not possible. Don't even bother. Moving on.
And last but not least, the scariest land in all of Islands of Adventure. Seuss Landing, in my opinion, is one of the creepiest lands in a theme park. Why? I have no idea, but it truly just creeps me out. And that's why I truly think it would almost be the perfect spot to host a Halloween Horror Nights event area. During its time at Islands of Fear, the Seuss Landing area was used for a few short days, but the owners of the IP didn't like it, so they took some of the scare actors roaming around out of it and just kind of fogged the whole place up. If Halloween Horror Nights would return to Islands of Adventure, I think that Seuss Landing would be a great spot to have it. Imagine these freaky, creepy Dr. Seuss characters like the Cat in the Hat, Thing 1 and Thing 2, roaming around trying to, well, grab you and bring you inside of their story. It definitely would freak me out a little bit. So after all of this, do you honestly think Halloween Horror Nights would work if they brought it back to Islands of Adventure?
The short answer, no. Long answer, if NBC Universal, like Comcast Universal, decided to purchase Disney and every other IP, if it was one mega corporation, yes. It's an issue with IP, it's an issue with being able to use certain areas, stuff like that. I just don't view it happening. Also, they've said this in panels previously, where the head honchos are like, yeah, no, it's not happening.
So what can these fans and others expect to see at future Halloween Horror Nights?
The future for Halloween Horror Nights is very big, I think. This is an event that started with one weekend at Universal Studios Florida, our first theme park here in Florida, and we've now moved it to Islands of Adventure. As this event grows, it will outgrow Islands of Adventure, and I see it moving into probably 2 parks as the years passes by, where we can even make the theming a little bit, more themed towards what's in our islands, and then take a more movie approach in the studios and join the two to kind of a mega Halloween Horror Nights.
At the end of the day, no matter how much us Horror Night enthusiasts would absolutely love to have a 2-park Horror Nights or Islands of Adventure Horror Nights once again, sadly, it would never work. Between the lawyers of the IPs and Universal, I just don't think they would be able to get it done. On top of, the crowd levels are way too high for Halloween Horror Nights, and that is why it perfectly works at Universal Studios Florida. They have the room backstage, they have the sound stages, so it flows well, it goes well, and maybe, who knows, maybe one day we'll see Betty Boo's OnlyFans. As always, thanks for watching. This has been the Dumb Theme Park Club, and I will see you guys in the next one.